This channel does not promote or encourage any illegal activities. All contents provided by this channel is meant for educational purpose only.
Hello guys, welcome back to another section of this course. In this section, we are going to see what is SQL and how to perform SQL injection on any particular website. So the key to becoming a competent white hat hacker is knowing how the technology that you are trying to exploit actually works. SQL injection is one of the most common method of attack used today and also one of the easiest to learn. In order to understand how this attack works, you need to have a solid grasp of, yes, you have guessed it right, SQL. So the question arises, what is SQL? SQL is nothing but a structured query language. It's a standard language used for retrieving and manipulating data in a relational database management system, which is also called as RDBMS. Data is accessed through the use of queries, which allows information to create, read, update, and delete. Database can be used in a variety of situations, but one of the most common configuration is a data serving as a backend to the web application. When certain actions are performed, such as logging in or searching, queries are sent from the web app to the database. Injection is allowed to occur when input fields are not properly sanitized or escaped. An attacker can enter malicious SQL command in order to access data that should be otherwise be out of sight. SQL injection is generally considered to be high impact because it allows attacker to retrieve sensitive information, tamper the data, destroy the data, or even escalate privileges and issue OS command operating system commands on a server. Generally, any kind of input on a web page is potentially vulnerable to SQL injection, because that is where it interacts with the database. Authentication forms where the user logs in with the username and the password are the most common type of input that are exploited, but search forms, contact forms, and file uploads are also potential target for the SQL injection. So this is the brief introduction about the SQL injection. In the next video, we are going to start some basic concepts of SQL, so that it will be very easy for us for performing SQL injection on any particular website. Thank you for watching this lecture. What is anatomy of a database? A data contains in a relational database is stored in object called tables. These tables are the virtual representation of a relation between different elements which consist of rows and columns. Rows called record contains data for every single entry in the database. Fields, which are the column of the table, represents a specific piece of information for every record. This is better illustrated in this following table. The table contains 3 records and 4 fields. Each user in a database is given as an ID, name, username, and password. In reality, tables are much larger than this and can contain millions of records, and the database itself can hold just as many tables. You can see how valuable SQL injection is to an attacker with this much data ripe for the picking. So now in this lecture, we are going to see what is the syntax of SQL. So as you can see here, select from user where name is equal to John. So what does it mean? You don't need to understand each and everything about SQL. Only the basics of SQL is needed for the SQL injection. Okay, so what every character means here. So now let's go with select. What select means? Select as a name suggesting that it will select something from somewhere. Okay, now star means here all. Select all. Star means here all. And from means that you have to select everything from users, means the table name or the name of this table is user. Okay, so this from select to user simply means that you need to select everything from this user table. So now one more thing here, the clause where is using. What does where means? Suppose we are in this table we selected this particular table. Now we want to select any particular specific thing, so we need to use where. So as the name suggesting, where name is equal to John Smith, so it will select name is equal to John Smith. It will select this thing. So the basic syntax of SQL is simply saying that select everything from user where name is equal to John Smith, means that it will select each and everything in this particular row. So this is how it works. So this is the basic syntax of SQL. So as you can see here, select from user simply means that select all the fields from the user table, and where clause specifies that we only want to see information from the record where John Smith is in the name field. That means it is wanting this whole record. So this is all for this lecture. This is the basic syntax. You need to understand what it is written in front of you. You don't need to write the code. You just need to understand what the simple syntax mean. Thank you for watching this video. In this lesson, we are going to see how to use comment in our SQL injection. So there are two types of comment in SQL. The first one is single line comment and the second one is multi-line comment. And in single line, for commenting any single line comment, we need this particular character, and for the multi-line comment we use this syntax. Okay, so this is how we can comment anything inside SQL query. So now let's understand what does this particular code means for us. Let's see. Here we have a table. We have 3 columns here and we have 3 rows here. This is username, this is password, and this is suppose ID 1 2. Okay, let's suppose anything here. So now let's understand what this code means. Select all from users, that means it is selecting this particular thing, means that it is selecting this table. This table name is user. Okay, where username, that means the pointer is here, point is pointing to username, equal to double quotes or 1 is equal to 1 and this. Okay, now what does it mean? Now let's understand from here what this simply means. If you know any programming language, that if or and counter, then either this condition should be true or this one. If anyone is true, then or will execute the code. Okay, so in this case, as you can see here is nothing, here is null, or then 1 is equal to 1. 1 is equal to 1 is universally true. So this condition will execute and then pointer will go here. So here you can see this particular symbol, this is comment symbol. Okay, so this will comment out each and everything from here, and there is no need to enter any particular password. So if any attacker enter this particular query in the username field, so this code will do is that it will see 1 is equal to 1, then the condition is true, and when the condition is true, then it will run and it will logged in into the account. So this is how, very simply, this is how comment works. It will comment out each and everything after this symbol, and as you can see this is universally true, so it will execute this particular whole statement and you will be able to log in into the particular account. So this is how comments works. In our attacking session, we will also see the use of comment in the attacking phase. This is all for this lecture. There are also keywords that exist to make arranging data easier, such as minimum, max, between, and order by. So in this section, we are going to see what are the different keywords that we can use inside SQL query. So as you can see here, this is the table and the name of the table is login sessions. So now let's see what actually this table is saying. Suppose we wanted to know who was logged in the longest, and when the query below would return the ID, username, and the shortest and the longest session between 2 days. So as you can see here, this query select ID, username, minimum session length, max session length from login sessions, where login dates between 2018-01-01 and 2018-05-01. Group by ID, order by max, session length, descending. So what this query means? So group by consolidates the row by ID, and order by max session. Descending shows as the user with the longest session first, descending as opposed to ascending. The other useful statements include insert into, which insert, new record into table, update, which updates existing data in a table, and delete, which is used to delete record in a table. These types of query can be useful for SQL injection when you want to do more than just retrieve information from the database. An attacker could insert a new record indicating that they had bought something from an online store, for example, and claim that they never received the product and can be compensated for it. If they really wanted to cause maximum damage, the drop statement could be used. Drop table will remove an existing table in a database, while drop database will remove the entire database itself. So there are many useful keywords in SQL. In the next lecture, we are going to see what actually join and union means. So this is all for this lecture. So now in this video, we are going to see join. So joins are used to combine rows from the different table when there is a field related between them. So here you can see that user table and the login table. So we have two tables with us. So the query is select users.username, logins.date from users, and inner join logins on users ID and logins ID. So what it will do, it will just add both the tables according to these particular queries. So an inner join or simply join like the above will return record that will matching data in both the tables. A left join return all record from the left table as well as the record that match in the right table, while a right join return all return from the right table as well as the matched record in the left table. A full join will return all the record that matches in either the left or the right table. Although joins are not required for SQL injection, they can be proved very useful when extracting information across tables after you have found your way in. So as we have seen, as I have told you earlier that it is not important for the SQL injection. So one more keyword that we have with us, that is union. So in the next lecture, we are going to learn what is union, because union is very important in SQL injection. So this is all for this lecture. I know this is a brief video about join, but it is not important for the SQL injection. So that I am going to end this video here. Union. Union is used to combine distinct data from two or more selected statements. Each select statement must have the same data types, the same number of columns, and they must be in the same order. Union all does the same thing, but it won't eliminate duplicate rows in cases where the same data exists in both of the union tables. So now let's look at the example. We have two tables. The first one is users and the second one is admin table. So the following SQL query, as you can see here, select password from users, union select password from admin. Obviously this won't be normal query that is run against the database, but if we were allowed to inject this, we could obtain the admin password or any other information that isn't usually accessible. Union plays very important role when it comes to union based SQL injection. Union is very important keyword, and I'm going to show you separately in one lecture that how to perform union based SQL injection on any particular website. So this is all for this lecture. Thank you. So here we are going to see how to exploit SQL injection on a particular website, how to find the vulnerability related to SQL injection. So first of all, you have to open your metasploitable machine and kalilinux machine. So as you can see here, I have metasploitable machine, so I will just go for the IP address fsf admin, press enter, and I have to type password also. As you can see, yes, it is just logged in, and I'm going to see the IP address of this machine. So I will type if config and click enter. As you can see here, this is the IP 10024. I will just open my web browser, and the web browser, in the search bar I will just type this IP address that was in metasploitable machine. So I will just clear this out. I will just type this and just press enter. So as you can see here, my metasploitable machine is just configured with my Kali Linux. So I will go with dvwa machine, and the password and the username is admin and the password is password. Okay, so let's log in, and after clicking on login, as you can see here, I have this website. So I'm going to find vulnerability in SQL injection. So this is what we are going to see SQL injection here. We are going to exploit SQL injection here. So I will see what kind of work it will do. So in the most of the cases you will not find source code. So if in any website you will find source code, then it will be just kudos for you. And in this website you have source code, so you can analyze with the help of this source code. So we shall see this later. So I will go with, it is asking for user ID. So okay, I will type 1 and press enter. Okay, it is showing first name and a last name. So I will type 2, press enter, and it is also showing. So it concludes that this thing is just taking user ID and just showing the name, first name and the last name. Okay, so how we can exploit this? Okay, so let's try with single apostrophe. Okay, enter, and it is not showing anything. So I will go with, let's check the security. It is on high, that's why it is not showing anything. Okay, I will go with again 1, it is showing me this. Okay, that's good. 2, it is showing me this. Now let's try with 10. No, it is having only some columns under 5 or 6. So if we talk about practical case scenario, then they have millions of columns, and rows. So it will be very hard for you to find out how many columns this SQL database contains inside it. So in this case, I think it is having maximum 5. Let's try with 6. Yes, it is having only 5 column and rows inside it. So I will go with subscribe with apostrophe. I am trying this apostrophe because it is a special character. Okay, so let's try with apostrophe, and it is showing error. So this message is showing that this particular website is vulnerable of SQL injection. So as you can see, you have an error in SQL syntax. Check the manual that corresponds to your MySQL server version for the right syntax to use this. So this just messed up inside the server. So this is how you can find SQL injection on any particular website using this kind of special characters. So now let's analyze how we have managed to find this vulnerability here. Okay, so let's just see the code. So I'm going to just copy this code, and we will analyze it on our leaf pad. Okay, leaf pad is a text editor in Kali Linux. So let's see here, as the terminal is opening, I will just type leaf pad and just press enter. So leaf pad is just in front of me. So let's paste here. So as you can see here, this is like select name, last name from user. So it is selecting first name and the last name. As you can see here, let's go with, where is my damn vulnerable machine? Okay, let's see the example. Okay, So now I will go with, where is my text editor? Yes, here it is. So I'm doing this to just analyze how it is working here, okay, so that you all can understand what is the working of this particular page. So now you can see when I type here 1, it will show this kind of result. So let's see, select first name, it will select first name, last name, it will select last name. From user, the table name is user, where user id is equal to 1. So whatever we are going to type, it will just go inside these apostrophes. Suppose I type here 1, okay, if I type here 1, if I type here 1, it will go inside these apostrophes and it will show the result. Okay, now when I typed here apostrophe, so what it did is commented just the syntax of the any SQL query is just started from here, and id is equal to 1 apostrophe and 2 apostrophe. It completed the query, so it will take this much code, and this last apostrophe will just eliminated and it will show the error. So this is why it is showing error. So now let's try with some advanced codes. Let's go with that. So I'm going to type here, okay, I'm going to type let's 2, okay, apostrophe. I will show you later how it's gonna be working. 1 is equal to 1 and just type enter. Yes, as you can see here, when I type this much of code, it is showing me 2. That means server is taking this. Okay, now let's go back to our leaf pad. Where's my leaf pad? Okay, here's my leaf pad. So if you analyze this, okay, let's copy and go back to our leaf pad. So if I paste it here, so you can analyze that interpreter start reading from here. id 2 is equal to 2. Yes, it is completed. It will take this. Okay, it will take this much, and this code completed the query. That's why it is taking that 1 is equal to 1. It is always true, so that's why it is saying me this thing. Okay, so this is how we can exploit SQL injection on any particular website. So let's try with another code later on. Based SQLi injection. Firstly, we have to find out number of columns of the existing table in the website to inject union based SQLi. For this, we will be using order by operator. The order by operator or keyword sorts the records in ascending order by default. To sort the record in descending order using desec keyword, and the order by operator is used to sort the results set in ascending or descending order. In both, the order by operator can sort out the result. So first of all, we have to use order by operator by typing 1, and then we won't get any error. Then we will just put again by increasing the number of column. And now try with order by 2 and keep repeating with until you will get an error. And when you get an error, for example, by typing order by 8, that is unknown order 8 is order clause. For this, we will be concluded that there are 7 columns being fetched. So that's how we can find out the number of columns while performing SQL based injection. So let's see how we can do this. So in this lesson, we are going to see how to find out the number of columns in the website database. Let's see, let's try with, let's complete the query with apostrophe and type order by 1, and we will be using hashtag. Just comment out each and everything later on hashtag and just submit. So as you can see here is you have an error SQL injection, and check the manual that corresponds to SQL servers and write it. Okay, so we have a error. Okay, so let's see here. I haven't add apostrophe here. That's what it is showing error, and it is also showing error here. So let's try with something else. Okay, that's good. Now I will go with order by 1 hashtag. Where is hashtag? Okay, now just submit. So as you can see here, here's the present column is number 1. Let's try with 2. So I will go with this and I just make this 1 to 2 and just submit. So here is at the number line it is showing some syntax error here. So let's try. Okay, what's going? Okay, the spelling of bio is wrong, and let's go with this. As you can find here, there is the number of columns is 2. Let's try with 3. Let's go with this and I will just make 1 2 3 and just submit. So as you can see here, unknown column 3 in order clause. So here we find the number of columns present in this table. So this is how we can find the number of columns in a table. So this is all for this video. In the next video we are going to see how to find out how to attack with union based SQL injection. So in the last video we have learned about the number of columns here in this database. So now we are going to see how to find out SQLi related to union based. Okay, so I have prepared a document for you all so that you can easily see what I am typing here. Okay, so first thing is in this list is information schema dot schema. What is this? This table holds the list of all the database present on the MySQL server, and the second thing is information schema dot tables. So this table holds the table name in the database. Information schema dot column. This table holds the name of the columns in the database. Okay, so now let's try. Let's go with some hacking stuff. So we are going to see some commands here. So I have just put all the commands here so that you can copy from here, you can see from here. Okay, now I'm going to see to how to get the table name. Okay, how to get the table name from here. Okay, I'm going to select it. It is, yes, I'm going to select it, just paste it here, and let's see, there's nothing wrong with this. Okay, let's try with this and just column. So it is showing the use select statement have different number of columns. Okay, it is having different number of columns. Let's go with this. Let's try with this. As you can find here, so yes, you can find here something that when we use the above query, it will return nothing because the return value are more than 1. So that here we can see that the value, we can use the limit command to limit the number of outputs. So let's see with that. We are using here limit command. Just copy it, just paste it here. Yes, we can see here. So the first table name is guest book. Okay, the first table name is guest book, and for the second table name we will be using the query number second. Okay, here it is. Just copy this and just paste it here. Remember the first table name is guest book. Okay, let's type enter, and the second table name is user. So we have find that there's 2 number of tables, so we can also print all the table in a single query by using the group contact function, and instead of giving database name we can also use database function. Okay, so let's try with that. So now we are going to use this function, this code, and let's type this here. So as you can see here, here is 2 table, guest book and the user. Okay, now let's go with the other one thing, and as you can see here, now we get the both table guest and user at once. Now for all columns name, for finding the columns names, we are going to use the query, this query, so that we can find the column name. Okay, column name is very important. So it is not working here, so we will be trying something else. Let's go with this command. Okay, now just run this. So as you can see here, there is two columns, comment ID and comment name. Okay, and the user table, for the user table we are going to see this command. Just copy it and just paste it here so that we can see the user table. So here we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 column. Voila, we are just very near to find out the juicy data from here. And as you can see here, we successfully dumped the structure of database. So which is database name is dvwa, table name is guestbook, column id and column id comment name, and user is column user id, first name last name, user password, avatar id, username, password. So now if you want to just point, we can easily dump all the data using the above database structures. So now let's dump the username and password from the user table. The query will be like, so for that we have to use this particular query. So don't worry if you don't know SQL, so you cannot. Yes, here's the admin and here's the password of admin. So now we have dumped the user again with the some other query. I have lots and lots of query for you all, so that you can clear your concept by using these queries. It is not that difficult. So you have the passwords and the users here. So as you can see here, now we have crafting the union query for injection. Then always remember the punctuation of number of the columns. For example, if the last query we have put apostrophe dot apostrophe comma 2 apostrophe after the group concat function, so if you are miss or ignore the proper punctuation of the query, then it will not work. So this is how we can inject SQL injection here.